Okay, guys, Nicholas Rosenberg here, Punching Back Podcast. We're here at Cult Media. Shout out to the homie Prime. And look, we got Big Droops.
What's up? Salute to Prime. Salute to Rosenberg. Appreciate you guys for having me here.
Yeah, much love, much love.
Likewise.
Okay, so let me just jump in. Who is Droops?
Droops, my name's Ricky. Like most people know me as Ricky, Droops. You know what I mean? I grew up in Highland Park, California. I've been a lot of different things to different people, you know? So I think that question could be answered by whoever you ask, you know? Because like to my enemies, I was probably an asshole and, one of them guys out there active, and, to the family, I was, Ricky, a good dude out there trying to make sure that my family prospered, and to my homies, I've always been one of the ones out there making sure that we're good,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, we move in the same circles. We've
For
kind of
sure.
overlapped a couple times.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
it like growing up in Northeast LA?
It was cool, man, because like I grew up in a time when like Highland Park was all I known, so growing up as a kid, it was great. I went to all the schools in the hood. I just did my thing. I grew up with family members that were gang members, you know what I mean? Like my mom was from Clanton, my dad is from Dogtown, my stepdads were from Clanton. So like I grew up just, in a gang environment, you know what I mean? Wow, my grandmother is Polish, you know what I mean?
Wow.
She had a bar in right here down the street on 7th and San Pedro. So, I grew up with that too, So I think I grew up in a pretty good home overall. I think everything is what you make it. So like for me, my grandma was always there, like make sure that my mom, because my mom was young when they had me, my mom and my dad. So growing up with them, it was like my grandma was like, like the person of the house, like making sure that everything was taken care of. I got her tatted on me right here. Got mom's right here. But, it's just RIP to my grandma, but it was all love, man. I I can't say that I take anything back from like growing up in the hood. I started out as a tagger and then transitioned into being a gang member.
So your grandmother was obviously very important in your life.
Very important.
How about
for sure.
mom, dad, siblings?
My mom was I've lived with my mom my whole life. Um, my dad he was around like in the hood, but him and my mom weren't like actually like together. They were like maybe on some like junior high or high school stuff. So like once like my stepdad raised me maybe from 6 months on. So, I got a lot of respect for my stepdad. I'm with my dad now. We have like a better relationship now that I'm older. I did some Fed time and in the Fed time, like we got reacquainted. So like with my brothers and sisters from my dad's side. So we've we're a lot more in each other's lives now, now that we're older. So at least my kids, I got 2 daughters and I have a stepdaughter that I raised since she was 4. So they all get to be a part of like my dad, and my mom's still alive. She lives in Texas right now. But it's cool, man. Like being out, like I've been out a little more than 3 years. I
Okay.
did 16 years in the feds.
Wow.
So it's cool, man. I try to tell people freedom is priceless. Some people don't get it. They like to like troll on the internet and be on all the extra shit. But I really try not to entertain any of that, you know?
Now, when you were a tagger, what was your name? If you can speak
No,
on it, I
that's
don't
cool.
know. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had two different names. Like coming up, most of my homies that know me real good, my tagger name was Zont, Zont.
Okay.
And then once the cops started like catching on and getting me, I changed it to OK. So OKAE or OHKAE. So, you know, I used to and my tagging crew was BSK,
Right.
Backstreet Kings. So you know, I still got the crown. I got the crown on my neck. Like once all the problems started shifting and like everybody went from like tag banging to joining gangs and stuff. Most of that was like in 92, 93. So I was one of them guys at that time that transitioned from being a tag banger to actually getting into a hood. So like Highland Park got all of us in. Most of my homies, I'll say there was maybe 50, 60 guys at once got into Highland Park. Like maybe 10 of my homies got into Avenues, and then which is our enemies, and then maybe another 10 just kind of like stood neutral and just chilled, you know. But at the time, I was the youngest out of all my homies at the time, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, 92, were you here during the riots?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
out there.
Tell me, speak on that.
Yeah, I was still young, you know. I was born in 77. So right now I'm 47. So on the riots, I was what, 12, 13, 14, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I was a participant in some of the looting and I was around when everybody was we had the curfews like in my hood we had the cops coming on horseback and coming all through there like deep. But yeah, I was active at the time and running around. Like I used to do a lot of hard drugs at the time. So I was involved in like what everybody was doing, you know?
Right.
So and most of the time, like we'd go to like downtown and then where everybody else was going, but we were even looting like the hood, you know? Like it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I was at Parker Center
Yeah.
right after the mayor made the announcement.
Yeah.
So I was there, bro. I saw people I knew like from
Yeah.
the entertainment world.
For sure.
All right. So you mentioned the avenues. I don't want to get too far, but you had some of your homies were in the rival faction. If you can speak on that.
Yeah, it was a kind of a crazy transition for that because it went from like some of the dudes I used to sleep at their house and like know their mom and like family members like really well to like, you know, now we're out there committing crimes against them, you know? So and different people were like still cool with them at the time. So it just varied on like how active you were, I guess, because like some of my homies would still run into different people, and even me myself, I'd run into like different dudes, and we'd still kind of be cool, but it just it got out of hand for real because like once you start seeing people that you really grew up with, that you were cool, you know all their people, but they're, fools. They're gang members too, they're still doing their thing. And a lot of times we try to concentrate on the people we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like, I'd run into like some of them and they'd be like, hey, like, we don't have a problem with you. We want to get your homies. And I'm like, nah, like, it doesn't really work that way, If you're trying to get my homies, you're trying to get me too. So it got crazy, but at the same time, like every once in a while they'd catch you at different spots too. Cause like I said, I was into a lot of hard drugs at that time. So, you know, I'd have to go to like Drew Street, like 43rd. I'd have to go to the spots that had it, and I'm going there and, to 5-7. And those were all like really big clicks at the time of avenues, So I'm going there to like buy dope to get high while I'm still active and out there in the streets. So like some of it was like kind of crazy. Like when you really think about it, like, every once in a while you'll catch dudes out there that and like they got you, and sometimes they'll be like, hey, fool, like I know what you're doing here. Like I know you're buying work, and I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, what's up? Like, look out, And I'm like,
Right.
shit, here, like let me get by,
Okay.
I'm just trying to get out of here. But it was kind of crazy growing up, man. Looking back and seeing the different things and like I've been in jail a long time. I did 5 years in the state from 17 to 22, and then I did 16 in the feds from 28 to like 40 something. You know what I mean? Like 43, 44. So when you're in jail, like most of your enemies or the guys you actually kick it with the most. So like people think like, you know, it's you guys know all the same chicks, you know all the same places, especially in the feds. Like once you start moving around, like I was in Kansas and there was no more of my homies from my hood, and there was 3 guys there from Avenues, and we were cool as shit. There was 3-4 guys from Avenues, and some of them I still talk to this day. Like, we're developed a relationship and we're cool, So it just some of this gang shit, it is what it is, and you're gonna do what you gotta do, and like I just got shot on Mother's Day
Wow.
in my hood, so
Wait,
like,
when was this?
Mother's Day, this Mother's Day that
This
just passed.
year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, last year because it was
Yeah.
May.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a year yet. You know what I mean? I got the whole little zipper on the stomach now, and and that's just, it is what it is. Sometimes it's like that.
What would you say led you to the streets?
I think led me to the streets is just my environment where I grew up. Like a lot of people grow up and want to be different things, and like I always seen gang members around me. So like my mom, my dad, my stepdad, my just the environment I was in, it was normal. So it wasn't like I was doing something that wasn't regular. So like with tagging, it was like a natural transition to like being from a gang. So I don't think there was but it's crazy too, because like I got brothers that grew up in the same house, and they never got into a gang. Like they were chilling, they did their things. So, you know, I just think it's choices that we make, you know? Like a lot of people think like, oh, you have to, and like, no, I don't think you have to, because like my brother never got into a gang, you know?
Right.
My brother Alfredo, he's chilling. Like he never dealt with none of that. And he like chilled with everybody I chilled with, you know? So I think it's just choices that we make, you know?
Right. Now, your street affiliations, your neighborhood,
Yeah.
did that have an impact on your house, your home life?
Yeah, for sure. 100% it did. I
In
mean,
what way?
there's no way that you could move around without coming into contact with your enemies, with your friends, and the more you're into like let's say to your hood or whatever, you're gonna have them friends, you know, with their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. Like everybody's gonna interact together. So I don't think there's no like real way to keep the two separate if you were really like out there, you know? Because like if you're, say my girl's having a baby shower or whatever, how am I not gonna invite all my friends with their girls over, and just different things like that, you know? I mean, you could just be going to the market to buy something to eat, and if you live in your hood, you got to deal with your enemies around there.
Right.
So I don't think there's no like real way to separate the two, unless you were just probably not with the business or something. I don't know, you know, because I don't think anybody like wants another family member or their kid or siblings to like be from the gang, you know? Like I got two of my brothers that are from my hood, you know, and my first brother got in the hood when I did my first 5 years in the state. And then my next brother got in the hood when I did my 16 years in the feds, you know? So it wasn't like me telling them like, hey, get in the hood, you know? It was something like I would rather keep them away from, because I know all the stuff that I went through growing up. And I don't think that's something you really want for your family, even though at the time, like, I'm getting like whole tagging crews and different dudes in the hood, you know? So I think most people wouldn't mind their friends getting in, but they don't want their family getting in, because you know, like I think we look at our family differently, you know? Like I'm looking at my little brother as my little brother, like I'm used to like picking on him or doing whatever, you know? So like I'm not used to him being like the man he is, you know? So it's kind of crazy when you see your brothers out there and they're active and they're respected in their own right, you know?
Right.
So I think it's just a little different, but you know, it's things that we deal with. But like I don't think there's many people like fathers that want their son to be from a gang, and you know, like my dad's from Dogtown,
Right.
and like we don't get along with Dogtown.
Yeah.
So it's like
I've seen
you
that.
know,
I've
yeah,
seen that.
yeah. So
I've
it's
seen that too.
yeah. So it's just different stuff, you know what I mean? So I don't think like you know, and I've talked to him before and he's like, hey, I used to tell like my homies, like, hey, that's my son over there, like make sure to be cool, you know? So I just think it's a lot of different stuff that people don't think about, but it's decisions that we make, and once you make them decisions, there's really no turning back with saving face, you know, like, hey, this is me and this is what it is, you know?
What are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way?
I think jail teaches you a lot of lessons, you know, because like when I first did my first 5 years in jail, I went from juvenile hall. I went from East Lake straight to Wasco, you know. I didn't never get to go to the county jail, you know. So I went from juvenile hall to Wasco, and then I did 5 years, and I paroled from Salinas Valley, which is a 180 level 4 yard, you know. I was on Z
I
yard.
have people. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Tell me real quick. Why your case was a direct file? You were 17.
Yeah.
So when you hit your yard, how old were you?
I was able to turn 18 before I hit the yard, but they gave me a 90-day observation in YA.
Right.
So I was in juvenile hall. They gave me the 90-day observation. I went to YA. I went to Norwalk. So I was in SRCC with a D number, which was like, we're going to see if you get a number or not type shit.
Yeah.
So I went over there. I turned 18 while I was there. So I still had the option of them accepting me, you know? So the thing is when I got there, everybody was telling me like, if you come to YA, you're going to end up maxing out till you're 25. If you go to the state, they still have halftime and like you're going to be good. But I got to the state in 95, so it was, I got there 2 or 3 weeks before when the 3 strikes law was enacted.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I missed the halftime for that.
Oh, okay.
So everybody was still under the assumption that, hey, you're going to get the halftime, but there was no halftime being able to be got because they enacted the 3 strikes law, which gave you 85% if you did a violent crime. And I went to jail for a robbery, which
Yeah,
is a violent
211.
crime. Yeah.
No, I got you. Now, you know, it's different.
Yes, of course.
They're getting 66, but
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on, there's ways
Yeah.
that they don't do that.
Yeah.
So your hood is famous, right? You got a lot of entertainers.
Yeah.
You got my girl Reverie.
Yeah,
Shout
Reverie's the
out to
homegirl.
Reverie.
Salute to Reverie.
Shout out DJ Lala and Crypt.
All of them out
Good
there.
people.
Yeah,
So
good people for
you
sure.
kick it with them? What's
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
I was with you at one of Reverie's album release parties in Pasadena.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when she shaved her head.
Right.
Remember?
I do.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
it's so dramatic.
Yeah. She shaved her head, you know? But yeah, that's the homegirl, you know. She came up with like my little brothers, you know.
Okay.
So
They're more in that generation.
yeah, it's more that generation, you know.
Okay.
Like I'm for sure a generation above them, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that's all.
You're
the
an
people.
OG.
Yeah.
You're a veterano, right?
Yeah, I guess, you know.
I think so, bro. You
mean-
have an impact out there.
I still try to, you know, I like to feel young, man, you know. I don't think anybody really wants to get old. And you know, but I mean there's no stopping father time, you know.
Right.
So, you know, we're gonna be who we are. But I try to stay as with the times as I can while still
No,
staying
your
out of the
kicks,
way.
your gear,
Yeah.
solid shit. I was gonna ask you about the crown. But you explain it. No,
Yeah.
dude, your program is tight.
Yeah,
I
try
like
it,
it.
man.
I
Thank
like
you.
it, bro.
Appreciate that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into podcasting? Because usually it's like a different role, right?
It was really I got into it with my homeboy Lucky. Lucky he runs Hoodstocks. You know, so the whole time I was in jail, I'd run into different people like towards the ending, like when I got back to like towards California. Cause I did a lot of time. I got busted in 06 and I didn't get out till like 21. So I believe Lucky started his podcast 6 to 8 years ago. I'm not too sure on the actual time, but
Well, it was during COVID.
yeah, I'm not too sure. No, I think it was before COVID.
Okay.
For sure, I think
Okay.
it was before COVID. But he started his thing. So, because I got out like while COVID was still happening, you know. But when I got out, he was doing pretty good, and he invited me. Like I've heard of a lot of, like, my brother has been on his podcast. A few of my homeboys have been on his podcast, and like, I've known him for like rapping and like being an active dude in the hood, you know what I mean? So when I got out, he was like, "Hey, fool, like, come to my podcast." But I was still, when I got out, I was living with my sister in Victorville.
Oh.
So I had a ankle monitor on. I was they sent me to a halfway house in Watts.
Wow.
I was on, I think, 92nd and South Central Avenue.
Wow.
So it was like right across the street from like the Watts projects and shit.
Yeah. As
you
they
know?
would say, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's fucking deep, dog.
Yeah.
That's deep.
So I was out there for sure in Watts, you know? And like my first day out, they were like, "Hey, we need you to clean up the front. This is your job." You know, they give you jobs in the halfway house.
Okay.
So, you know, but doing my time, like my like, I was hearing Lucky rapping, and he was rapping a little bit like more for the hood when I went to jail. So, you know, you gotta figure I did 16 years. So he did a lot of different things while I was busted, you know. He had a little market in the hood. Like, he did a lot of different shit. So now they're telling me like, "Hey, he's doing a podcast." And then he's telling me like, "Hey, fool, like, pull up to my podcast." And I'm still thinking about the old ways to where like we can't be on camera, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, you know? Like, I'm not gonna go, dog." And he's like, "What do you mean? Like, pull up, fool." You know, like, a lot of people always ask. And then I'm talking to my dad, and my dad's like, "Hey, I watch your homie's podcast, you know? He always shouts you out, like, you know, like, there's a lot of people doing good things out here now, you know?" And I'm not gonna lie, like, when I was first getting out, I was still thinking to myself, like, how can I get back to my old life? Like, how can I get back to making good money, you know?
Right.
Because
Okay.
I've never really had a job before. I mean, I worked one time at Homeboy Industry, like back when they still had the paint crew.
Okay.
But I was there when they killed the two guys on the paint crew.
Oh,
They
okay.
killed
You painting out the graffiti. Is what
yeah,
you're talking
removing
about.
the graffiti.
Right,
It's the
right.
graffiti removal. So one of my homies got me into it. He was like, I got out in 2003. And
Okay.
he was like, "Hey," I think 2003. And he was like, "Hey, my PO was on me. I was on state parole.
Were you
And
high control?
I was on high control."
Yeah.
But I was like one of the main guys out there, like running the hood, like really involved, you know? So they were like, "Hey, you need to try to get a job, or like we're gonna send you to jail," you know?
Yeah.
So Father G gave me a job, man. And
Shout out Father
yeah,
G.
salute Father G, man. For real, he helps a lot of homies. And so I had the job for a while, but we were like removing a lot of like graffiti, you know? And
That's like deep too.
yeah,
For
well,
you, with
yeah.
your history.
And the thing is like I was still active, like out in the streets. So like you go and you paint over somebody's shit, like you understand what it took for them to go out there and do it, you know? So it kind of like was tough to do it, but at the same time, like I'd kind of try to explain to like some of the dudes, like, hey, look, like we're coming through respectfully. Like, if you ride on Friday, it'll stay here for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? But
That's
like,
fine. Give you your props.
you know, but
Right.
like if you ride on Monday, like they're gonna, cause we had to go to the city council, and the city council would be like, hey, all these areas, you guys gotta go get it, you know? And some areas were tougher than others. Like, you know, the guys from Cam, they made it tough to just go and paint over their shit. They're
I'll
like,
give a shout to Casey.
yeah, salute Casey. Casey's
I'll give
the
a
homie.
shout.
Yeah, but you know, so free K9. K9's a homie too.
Yeah.
But you know, the shit is like you know, we had to go paint it. You know, it was, and if let's say somebody came and told us we couldn't paint it, we'd just be like, all right, cool. Like, cause most people ain't gonna like die over painting graffiti, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, some of these gang members knew some of their enemies were painting their stuff,
Okay.
you know? So they killed 2 people out on the job, you know?
Right.
So while they killed them, it shut down the program, you know? So there's no longer no paint removal,
Right.
you know? But yeah, they killed a homie from Maravilla and I think a homie from East LA.
Okay.
You know, so while
Well,
they were actually
R.I.P.
painting, yeah, R.I.P. to
R.I.P.
them
on that.
for sure. But you know, I mean, it happens out there, and it's crazy that it happens like while they were trying to like change their life, you know. But with the whole thing being said, is like, so Lucky was trying to get me to like pull up, you know.
Right.
So I went to he had Dwight Howard on.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember that.
yeah, so Dwight Howard came and he came to the hood and he helped school in the hood, like with a basketball court and like actually hooked it up, you know? So I was like, you know what? Like I'm gonna pull up for this. So I actually was on a 6-hour pass from Victorville, pulled back up to the hood, went to it, and it was kind of cool. And I was like, man, I was looking at it like, okay, I see Lucky's doing his thing, you know? Because, you know, I just remember him like, you know, being in the hood, doing his thing, you know, being a you know, active homie in the hood.
Well, he's an electrician now.
Yeah, now he's an
Smart guy,
electrician.
right?
Yeah. I mean, all of us at some point, we got to grow up. You know, you can't expect us to stay in the same place forever, you know? So, you know, I was watching all of this and I was in Victorville before I got out. And like the in jail over there, it's called the SIS. So like the cops were coming like, hey, you know your homie Lucky? I'm like, yeah, I know him. And they're like, yeah, we watch his podcast. And I was
Okay.
like, oh shit.
Yeah, they
You
they
know?
watch all our shit.
Yeah, so they do. They're like believe it or not, like a lot of different like CEOs, different people hit me up and they'll be like, hey man, like, you know, I appreciate what you're doing and you know, sometimes like being positive, you know?
Okay.
Cause, you know, there's a lot of people watching, you know. And even like now, like I had since I got shot, you know, I had to call into the police station and like figure some things out. And
Well, first, I didn't say it, bro, but you're blessed, man.
yes, for sure, I'm
Blessed.
blessed, man.
For sure.
For sure,
Okay.
I'm blessed.
Yeah,
you know,
that's big.
it's
That's a
really
whole,
big.
That's a whole movie right there.
Yeah, no lie, man. And I'm really blessed, man. And I'm thankful to still be here, you know. But I called into the police station and, you know, one of the officers picked up the phone and he was like, what's up, Big Droops? And I'm like, what the hell? You know? And he was like, yeah, man, I see you doing it, you know, podcasting and this and that. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, you know, like they're really paying attention. You know, and that's what I try to explain to some of these people sometimes is like they come on here and they do a lot and not understand that this stuff goes straight out to the internet and everybody's able to access it.
Right.
So if you come on here acting crazy and, you know, want to act like you're the big dog and, you know, show things that you ain't supposed to or say too much, then, you know, it's going to be out there, you know?
Right.
But
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Did
no,
I cut you
all
off?
of that just led to like me finally looking at some of the stuff with Lucky Shit and actually pulling up just to kind of be in the background. And then from being in the background, it ended up to like saying a couple words here and there and led to this, man. You know, so salute to Lucky, man.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll shout Lucky out. I was on his show. I've been on 3 times.
Yeah.
Back in COVID with the black black gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. He's got a lot of good
For
guests.
sure. He's got his things going, you know? I seen he got Casey back on there, you know? Salute to them.
How about Haters World?
Yeah.
Or Hater World.
Hater World. Yes, haters world. Yeah, so from Lucky's I ended up transitioning over to Haters World. And it's been cool, man. Like for real. I've actually a lot of people throw hate at him or whatever, but he's actually helped me do a lot more to make myself me and help me build my own brand.
Okay.
You know, because when I was with Lucky, it was more like me helping him as a team, like do his thing. You know, maybe he don't feel that way, maybe he does. I don't know, but I never really concentrated on myself. So going over there with Blue Devil, he's helped me concentrate on me. Like, hey, bro, you gotta try to build up your own brand. Like, try to figure out something for you. Like, make your own channel. Like, do your own stuff. You know what I mean? So, you know, salute to him, man. Salute to him for sure. Like, he helped me. And you know, right now I got the Hoodstar TV, which I've been doing little skits and different things on, and I went and bought different things so I could actually start figuring out how to do my own shit. You know,
Right. How's it going over there?
Too,
I looked through your IG and I
Yeah.
know you're out there, bro.
yeah, for sure. I'm out
You are.
there.
You are.
Yeah. I think it's going good, man. You know, like sometimes there's different things going on, and you know, we're trying to do things that a lot of people don't do, you know. So, you know, we're trying to like get the black and brown together, and you know, a lot of people really ain't tripping on that. But you know, but it's not even just black and brown. We're trying to bring black and brown, Asians, like whoever. We're trying to bring everybody.
LA.
Yeah, just have a whole like movement, like with everybody cool with each other. Just trying to have a cool little media page to where like everybody fucks with each other, you know?
Okay.
So like a one-stop shop type shit, you know? So you know, I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. A lot of people got to see like the drama that went on with Whack and Loose Cannon and all that shit. But like overall, I think we've been doing pretty good. And I think the channel's been moving. You know, I'm with them more focusing on 200 Boys.
Okay.
So, you know, Blue Devil does his own thing with reactions. He does radio, he plays songs, and then he has his own like solo dolos by himself.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, different people for different things, you know, but I think overall we're in a good direction and we're doing pretty good, you know? Salute.
I put you do the salute. I go like that.
I see you. I see you.
Now you connected with my very good friend Conejo,
Yeah, for sure.
and you've been to the shows.
Yeah.
How's that?
It was pretty cool, man. Like I've always heard about Cornejo, like gelling and
He's right
you know,
there.
Yeah. always heard about him. There was a lot of like that day I was a couple of his homies that I was there with. Like I've been in jail in different times in the county, in the feds, and you know, like one of his homies there was my celly in the feds, like right before I got out. So, you know, we got the H in common, you know. They already know that, you know. So it was good to actually finally meet him because you know, I've heard a lot about him, you know, and much respects to him. I see him doing his thing and, you know, movies. He's been, you know, the man doing his thing with music, you know what I'm saying? And it was cool. You know, he invited me there that day. So I got to pull up and I think it was a great event. You know, it was good to see. Yeah.
He's got over 100 albums.
Yeah, he's a beast.
That's like, when you really try to break it down and process that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were shooting a video last night, actually.
Yeah. Hey, Conejo's doing his thing, man. Salute to him, man.
Oh, and he just is in the new movie.
I seen it.
Working Man.
Yeah, he sent it to me the other day.
I'll shout Dave Ayer out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the first fight scene
I seen
with
it.
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Right?
The beekeeper and all that.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I think that's what we're gonna see, more culture out there like that. So 2024, that was a hectic year. How would you describe 2024?
For 2024, man, a lot went on for me, you know, like I said, I've been over there with Lucky for the first half of 2024. For the last half, I was with Blue Devil. Towards the middle of it, I got shot. So I'm still actually recuperating from that. So it's, yeah, for sure. You know, I work, my job is, I'm a laborer. So I do construction. I'm
like Local 300?
Yeah, Local 300.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I know some of those dudes.
Yeah. Well, here's another one right here, bro.
I'll shout out organized labor. The only people, when my people are blasted, coming out of prison, no college degree, you make 6 figures.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give them a shout.
Man, I've been there making good money, man. Money that I can't make nowhere else. You know, so I was making good money there. And I'm hoping to be able to get back. I need 500 more hours to journey out. Or else I'm going to have to start over again,
Really?
man. So, yeah.
You have to go back to apprentice?
I'd have to go back to apprentice because I got sponsored in. So I got sponsored in like 2002. And when I got shot, I've been off work since then, since May. So I've been on disability since then, just trying to like build my strength back up. I mean, just looking at me, I still look cool. But to be out there in the sun and doing the hard labor that I do, it's a lot more than people think, you know? So,
well, you're still here. It can take a long time for that kind of surgery, right?
Yeah, well, they took out my spleen. They took out half of my intestines. They were telling me in the beginning that I might have a colostomy bag forever.
Wow.
Like outside. But everything worked out. You know, like I said, I'm blessed. But yeah, man, I'm hoping to get back to work. But they've been laying a lot of people off.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know a lot of people don't like Trump and what he's doing, man. But hopefully, man, when he gets back on, the economy will shake back a little bit and we get back to working and doing what we're supposed to do, you know?
What would you tell the youngsters Like if you're 14, 15, 16 years old, what would Big Droops say?
I would really tell them to think about everything, man, before jumping in, because some of the decisions that we make at 14, 15 years old, 13 years old last forever, you know? I'm still going on things that I decisions I made then. I'm still living them today.
Right.
You know, and I can't really say that I regret anything, because everything is a different learning experience and shapes you into who you are, you know? But you know, I had my kids and just different things since then. But I just think that take life a little more serious
Okay.
at your age, man, and think about what you're doing, because some of these decisions, you could be 14, 15-year-old and catch life and never get out of jail again, man. And, you know, I don't think that's where you want to be. You know, most of us are figuring our shit out later in life. And if we were able to figure it out then, I think it'd be a lot better, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What can we look forward to seeing for Droops in 2025?
2025, I'm gonna start. Man, I've been bullshitting, man, for real, because I know I got more potential than what I'm doing. So I need to start pushing out some more skits, focusing more on me, you know. But right now, you know, you know, Hatersworld, 200 boys, we're doing our thing, man, and we're gonna. I'm always focused on that, you know. Wherever I'm at whatever I'm doing, I'm always focused on that, you know. And like I said, I'm blessed to have Blue Devil actually like pushing me to build myself up, like to build me too, you know, because while you work with a team and you're doing your stuff, that's always great, you know. But like he says, like, hey, bro, like try to do you so you have something to fall back on, you know, because you never know what happens with anybody at any given time, bro. So I think you're gonna see me doing a lot more things, man. I'm gonna be out there and try to focus on everything in front of me, freedom, family, just, you know, doing me.
And right now, LA's going through it with the fires.
It's crazy, man. I pray for
What
everybody.
have you seen?
I seen it crazy. Like the first day that the fires were on, I was coming back from the studio and late night, and I was all the way like in Pomona,
Oh,
and I could see the fire all the way in Altadena. So that's how big and blazing it was. Like I thought it was like in Azusa or something,
okay.
because I was in Pomona, but as I got closer to home, like back to LA, I was like, oh man. So I was calling my girl like, hey, like these fires are really, really bad, you know. And then we seen the Palisades stuff and out there in Venice, and you know, we're starting to see people actually out there trying to light the fires up. And like, you know, it's different when it's a natural disaster, but when there's people actually out there like causing them, I think that's just crazy, man. And my prayers to everybody out there dealing with all this shit. And you know, wish everybody the best, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Prayers are out there.
for sure.
In a way, communities are coming together.
Yeah,
I see that. I see that on social media.
yeah.
And where can the viewers find you?
Everybody can find me on D Hoodstar. That's D and then Hoodstar TV on IG and YouTube. So they can find me right there. I'm gonna start dropping more skits and just doing more stuff, you know. You could find me on Tuesdays and Thursdays on 200 Boys podcast, Haterworld, at 6 p.m., you know, interviewing different guests, you know, right there, man. That's
All right.
where I'm at.
It's been an honor to have you on the show.
Appreciate you guys for having me, man.
Much love.
Yeah, likewise.
As my clients say, much love, my boy.
Salute to Rosenberg. Salute to Crime. Thank you, my boy, for having me here. Appreciate you guys.